It is time to go inside out as we welcome in SNY NFL insider Connor Hughes. And Connor, it would be quite the understatement to say it's been a roller coaster ride for the Jets through the first 6 games of the season. What do you point to as what Robert Saleh has done well to somehow have the Jets at 3-3?
He's kept this team together in the face of adversity when basically the Jets' entire season seemed to be lost after 4 plays when Aaron Rodgers went down with that Achilles injury. This team never stopped believing. This team never stopped fighting for each other, and that is a testament to their head coach. You know, after the Jets lost to the Patriots, there was a lot of talk out there that the locker room was fracturing, that Saleh was in jeopardy of losing this team. I never got that sense. And aside from that Cowboys game that just kind of got out of hand from the Jets late there in the second half, they were in every single game that they played. They were held back at times and they lost at times because of their struggles under center at the quarterback position with Zach Wilson. But the defense always brought it. The special teams always brought it. The Jets always looked like they were prepared for the game. And what we've seen now is the Jets have gotten better play from their quarterback, suitable play from the quarterback position. And because they're not being held back by the quarterback, they're now able to rely on their defense. And that's carried them to victories in these last 2 games. But I think that notion that they were losing the locker room or the locker room was fracturing was never true. And Saleh deserves a lot of credit for that, because I think a lot of teams would have fractured and split in similar situations.
All right, Connor, let's stick with the head coach and his staff. Defensive X and O's specifically. What did Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich do Sunday to force 4 takeaways against the Eagles, even without Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed?
They beat the hell out of Jalen Hurts. That's really what the defensive game plan was. I mean, we talked to Saleh earlier in the week, and we talked about that tush push, right? The brotherly shove. And he said the way the Jets were going to combat it was that anytime Hurts had the ball in his hands, they were going to give him 11 hugs and kisses, basically be incredibly physical with the Eagles quarterback within the rules, but they were going to be physical with him. And that extended past just the quarterback sneak. Anytime Hurts had the ball, the Jets made it their goal to put a licking on him. And they had just 2 quarterback sacks, but they had 4 quarterback hits. They pressured Hurts on 42% of his dropbacks. That takes its toll, you know? So while we saw vintage Hurts in the first quarter, come the second, come the third, come the fourth, he started making worse and worse and worse decisions. Those turnovers piled up, and it culminated there with that Tony Adams interception, which won the Jets the game, because then obviously we saw Hall take it into the end zone, and then the defense once again come up with another big stop there on the game's final defensive possession.
Yeah, definitely pressure in Hurts' face and getting to him led to a few of those takeaways. All right, now to the offense. What do you think is the biggest issue with the inefficiency in the red zone?
I hate chalking anything up to bad luck, and I don't necessarily know if that's the right word to use here, but it seems to be the ball just not bouncing in the Jets' direction. They are close, and I genuinely do believe that. Robert Saleh wasn't lying when he spoke after this victory over the Eagles and held up his 2 fingers and said, we're this close to turning it around. It's a drop here or there. It's one missed block. It's Zach Wilson booting out to the left, and there's an unblocked defender and not a safety valve there to check it down to get the first down. It's little things like that that are hurting them. Now, the way that they coached in the red zone against the Broncos, I was more alarmed with that and talked about it a little bit on Jets Class, where it just felt like they were passive. They were playing not to lose, and it really held them back. That wasn't the case against the Eagles. They turned up the aggression again. They got back to the type of offensive game plan they had against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was just little things that held them back. I do believe that as the Jets start playing lesser competition, teams like the Giants out of the bye, Washington, Atlanta, Houston, the Raiders, I think you'll see this offense really start to click. Because, again, it is true they've played some top-tier defenses here the first 6 of the season.
Yeah, but certainly penalties and sacks did not help them as they were behind the chains sometimes when they got inside the red zone. Connor Hughes, thanks for joining us here on Honda Sports Night.